The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh. Got my hustle on, no imitation of that. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heartthrob in my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Ernest EJ Christian, coming to you on a Wednesday. Kind of chilly today, actually, but maybe another cold front on the way here in South Florida. Big show today, of course, which we'll get to in a second. But, I haven't done this in a long time. I've done a cold open in quite a while. But we'll have this, of course, first off, we'll have our good friend, our friend in the pod of Zack The Gambling Degenerate with our week 14 picks against the spread. We'll have that in just a couple minutes. And then a candid interview I actually did last week with a good friend, fellow podcaster, really great guy, Tokeo Jamison, Big TJ was on the show. We did this interview actually last Thursday night. I'm going to drop it today finally on the show. And we does a lot of things about life in general, TV, a little bit of politics, not so much the minutia, but just kind of like our thoughts on the world today at large, why he stopped watching the NFL, a lot of things. Lately, I've been getting some old friends of mine to come on the podcast to talk about some things, and it's been really cool. It's been really cool to kind of sort of get some of my personal inner circle of people, on the show and to try to just talk and really shoot the shit. No pun intended from the podcast we do every month with our own GW Gross and Ross. But today it's been a while since I've done this on the show, and I think I'll do it today. A little cold open if we get to our guests. First off, some reaction to Urban Meyer retiring, quote unquote, from Ohio State. Let me just say this. I've been very critical of Urban Meyer for many years. Urban Meyer, to me, is one of the 5 greatest coaches in the history of college football. Like Nick Saban's in that conversation, the Bear Bryants of the world, maybe talk about Bobby Bowden, people like that. But if you're talking about greatest upper echelon coaches of all time in college football history, whatever you may feel about Urban Meyer is definitely in the top 5, in my opinion. Okay, he's definitely in that conversation. Now that being said, I've been hard on Urban for a lot of years because of the fact that I feel like he's very unauthentic. At least a lot of the optics of him leaving Florida and now leaving Florida with all this with that school starting to fall apart with issues off the field with I was Aaron Hernandez and players getting arrested left and right, and then you have the situation this year when he was tagged into the domestic violence situation with his assistant coach Zach Smith and his issues and why he didn't act accordingly to that situation, and now he's leaving now. Now, I'm not very surprised he's leaving at all. I predicted, actually, that he would leave at the end of the year. I certainly thought that if they lost to Michigan 2 weeks ago, that he'd be done immediately. I thought maybe by being Michigan, maybe it gave him maybe an extra year to stay. But, I guess the health issues, that, as he's been saying for years, is still an issue. Now, let me be clear about the health issues thing. Because a lot of people in the media, a lot of people in general, have a lot of opinions about that. I do think the health issues are real. Let me just be clear about that. I think they're real. I do think Urban Meyer does play up that stuff to some degree when it comes to, if there's something going on around the circle, like if there's crows around the situation of Urban Meyer, controversy around Urban Meyer, he tends to play up a little more than it needs to be. So I think the health issues are real. I do think he plays up more than it needs to be. And with that being said, I think he's not done coaching necessarily either. While I do believe he might be done, I do think there's still a very good chance he'll be back in a year or so. And I think, actually, to be honest with you, if we're thinking about Urban Meyer in coaching again, my prediction is probably some school like USC. Now, we know USC is committed to Clay Helton for another year. I mean, Lynn Swann, the AD, came out and said that last week and whatever. But if USC does not improve next year, I could definitely see USC firing Clay Helton, and then hey, Urban Meyer, hey, come along, and take another school, another conference is on the downswing. The Pac-12 has not, the Pac-12 has not been relevant for quite a while now. Ever since Chip Kelly left Oregon, honestly. And you can go as far back as Pete Carroll in Oregon. I'll say Chip Kelly because at least Oregon was making things interesting, 5 years ago. The Pac-12 has not been that good. And I think if you get a guy like Urban Meyer, he immediately puts the Pac-12 back on the map again in terms of having a school like USC, which is obviously one of probably the 5 best jobs in non-college football, make them relevant, and certainly puts them back in the national title contention. It's the same way he did it in Ohio State. So I'm not entirely convinced he's done coaching as yet. So we'll leave it at that. So Urban Meyer again retiring, quote unquote. We'll see where that goes. All right. Obviously, you guys follow me on social media. Every week on Tuesdays or sometimes Wednesdays, depending on my schedule. I do power rankings on social media. Do my power 10, bottom 5. My bottom 5 easily 28-32. Buffalo, Arizona, the Jets, the Niners, and the Raiders are my bottom 5 teams in the league in that order. Raiders being the worst. And I can make an argument you could swap the Raiders and the 49ers. The only reason I left it as is because of the fact that the Niners did beat the Raiders weeks ago. And but you can argue that right now in this moment the Raiders are playing a little slightly better than the Niners. The Niners are falling apart. But then again, they also on the third-string quarterback. So, you can't really blame them either. My top 10, a little bit of shake-up, of course, on top. The Rams back at top number 1. The Saints at 2. Chiefs at 3. Patriots 4. Chargers 5. Texans at 6. Steelers at 7. My team on the rise and the most dangerous team in the NFC, in my opinion, outside the Rams and Saints, the Seattle Seahawks at number 8. The Bears slipped to 9 this week, and the Ravens jumped in the top 10 at 10. I'll tell you what, the Seahawks and the Ravens are the 2 most intriguing teams in each conference on the bottom of the wild card bunch. All of a sudden, the Ravens are right in position right now to actually win the AFC North. When we thought Pittsburgh was actually going to run with the division. All of a sudden now, Pittsburgh's lost 2 last 3 games, and you can argue they should have lost 3 in a row with that miracle against Jacksonville 3 weeks back. They only half game behind Pittsburgh, and they got another game to play. Which, by the way, Baltimore already beat Pittsburgh once this year. So we'll see how that ends up. But it's a lot of interesting storylines playing out with a month to go in the season. Don't want to spend much time on this because I think tomorrow's podcast tomorrow's or Friday's podcast, I believe, we're going to be delving into this a little bit. The Heat, State of Miami Heat, my team, they just stink. They really just stink right now. And I just don't understand why we keep losing Orlando. Orlando for the last couple of years has just owned us. I don't get it. I just don't get it. We'll talk about Zach about that in a couple minutes because Zach's a big Magic fan, so he'll definitely he really was talking shit on the text last night. He sent me a text late last night after the game when I was long already in bed talking crap. So. But it's weird. We needed this homestand to go at least 3-1. They went 2-2 in the homestand. Now they got a big ruling 6-game road trip on the West Coast that includes games against the Clippers and the Lakers, the Jazz, who we just beat a couple days ago, but still. Memphis was been playing decent up to this point. This season comes down to this road trip. If they can go 3-3 at least on this road trip, 6-game road trip, I can say the season is still salvaged. But if they go below anything worse than 3-3, I think the season could be over. And I think the Heat will try to sell some of these players, but I don't think these contracts are so bad. I don't think any team is going to really want these contracts anyway. So it's just bad. And then you have the situation now with Hassan Whiteside leaving the bench shortly before the game was over. Now I don't want to speculate. People saying that he just walked off the bench because he's pissed off. But then again, who knows? Maybe he was told to go to the locker room for whatever reason. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to getting to next year where these contracts, Tyler Johnson's and Hassan Whiteside's of the world become tradable contracts, become expiring deals at the end of the year. So looking forward to that, honestly, because it's been disastrous in my opinion. And the worst part of this whole thing, the Heat, is this: they're not interesting. They're not interesting at all, and that's the sad part. And even myself, who's a diehard fan, even I find myself at times staying engaged in games now. Like last night, I'm watching the Orlando game with my wife and a kid, and my youngest kid rather, and we're there having conversations. Normally, I'm locked in the TV and watching the game, but I'm distracted by my phone, and my wife's talking to me about stuff, about Christian stuff. We're doing hang out decorations and stuff during the game. I haven't been engaged in Heat games because this team's not interesting, and it's sad. It's really, really, really sad. And the last thing I want to touch on real quick on the show, the Markelle Fultz saga. This thing is just getting weirder and weirder. Now he's out probably 3-6 weeks. They diagnosed him with something. I saw the thing yesterday. I forgot what it was called. But he was diagnosed with something. There's a shoulder nerve issue with his, let me see if I can find it here. I have it on my phone, actually. Yeah, he was diagnosed with a neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome. And it's supposedly a quote-unquote severely limiting his ability to shoot. This story is just weird. I don't understand it. To me, he needs to just break through. I feel like I feel like this whole thing is still more mental than anything else. If he's injured, fix the fucking problem. Like, if he's injured, fix the fucking problem. It's that simple. To me, it's this simple. You number one pick in the draft 2 years ago. Either you break through or go do something else. It's that simple. I don't want to sound like a mean guy and not sensitive to the situation, but at some point, you got to figure it out. And right now, the way things look right now, he might be the biggest flop in history of the NBA, based on the pick, based number one pick, the biggest number one pick flop. I mean, you say Anthony Bennett, but he's treading those waters because he's not even playing basketball. So, I don't know. And I hear some Heat locally here, some Heat fans, some we should get him and bring him to Heat culture. No, stay away. We don't need another bad situation coming here. I mean, if you can't make it work in Philadelphia, a team that's rising on the up and up, then I don't know what to tell you. So, all right, let's get started. We're gonna have first Zack The Gambling talking about, of course, our picks of the week. Probably doubling some stuff about Urban Meyer and maybe the Heisman talk a little bit, and then of course my conversation with my good friend, fellow podcaster, and all-around great dude, Tokeo Jamison. Okay, on the line with us, of course, our good friend. Every week we do this on Wednesday, the picks of the week, against the spread, of course. My man, Zack The Gambling Degenerate. The Gambling Degenerate. Let's say, wow, I said it wrong. Zack, what's up?
Not much, man. I'm glad it's using the lines instead of just the picks of the week. I'd get killed even more.
Yeah, this week we went. Okay, so this week, remember, up to last week you were catching ground. I believe you were 2 back at one point. I think, or 3 back. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I won 8-8 this week.
So I thought I was only 1 game back, and now I'm back to 2 games or something. What is it?
Okay, well, right now I'm looking it up real quick. You are I went 8-8 this week. You won 7-9. So right now the totals as follows. Right now, total for the year, I am 188-4. You are 97-90-5.
All right.
So, you lost some ground this week, a little bit of ground. But again, there is still 4 weeks to go in the season, and anything is possible. Is there a bet? Is there actually a bet online? Is there a bet on this thing though? Like dinner bet or something like that? I think it was dinner bet, right?
We should, but I mean, good Lord, you're never allowed to leave the house.
and you know what? It's not even my wife's fault anymore. It's the kids. That's the worst part. It's the kids now. Yeah. So, and that's why. This is why we're not having any more kids either. This is why we're done having kids. This is it. We're done. So, but yeah, again, interesting week. And by the way, this week's spreads, I don't feel as confident about these games as I have in the past. These spreads are, I won't say difficult, but definitely you can see what I picked here. I can also see the opposite happening, and easily happening. So. Some of these teams are very, very weird. Like Tampa, for example, left for dead. All of a sudden, they only have like a game behind, a 6-6. The 6-6 team in the NFC. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of weird things going on in the NFL still, even late in the year.
Jameis is worried about his $20 million. He's not turning the ball over right now.
Right. By the way, he'll be back next year. I'm so sold on that he'll be back next year. I have no choice. We have a choice, but
yeah. I mean, if they were further down the bottom and closer to a top 2-3 pick, I think they would let Jameis go. But
right. All right, before we get started,
when you're going to pick around 10, it's a little different.
Right. All right, before we get started, your thoughts. Urban Meyer retiring from Ohio State. I had my thoughts on the top of the show about Urban Meyer and what what my thoughts are on him and retiring, and what's your thoughts on everything. I'm not convinced he's gone just yet. I do have a good friend of mine who is close to his family, and the health issues are real. I do think he plays a lot more than he should, but Urban Meyer, say what you want about Urban Meyer. I mean, he's still, in my opinion, one of the 5 best coaches of all time in college football history.
Ooh, top 5, that's tough. But right now, my thoughts are, you asshole, I bet you would not retire after the season. And I just lost another bet.
Wow. Yeah, you're in a bad year gambling this year, buddy.
And that tells you how bad a degenerate is. I'm betting on a guy not retiring after the turmoil that engulfed him to start the season.
I don't know. I don't know. Do you think he retired because of the Zack Smith stuff, or do you think he's retiring because the health issues are real?
I think it's more to do with the Zack Smith stuff than anything. And I think he's probably a little paranoid about something else coming out of Zack Smith's mouth. The way Zack Smith went off on the Texas coach Tom Herman.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's got to be something in Urban Meyer's past.
Right. Oh, I agree. And he's been very, 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 very vocal the last couple of weeks on Twitter, especially too. Like, the gloves are off now, so get out while you can, get out when you can, and just move forward. Also, before we get started with the picks, the Heisman Trophy is this week, I believe, the Heisman ceremony. I don't really care. To be honest with you, I've been disinterested in the Heisman races really for the last couple years. But this year I'm a little more intrigued because even though I still think Tua will win it and probably should win it, in the last couple of weeks I've started to sort of shift in my position a little bit to where you can actually make a strong case for Kyler Murray at Oklahoma to really win this trophy this week, and it wouldn't sound stupid.
Hey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
My connection went down on my phone.
Okay. No, I was just saying that even though I'm still thinking Tua's going to win it, and I think he probably should win it, the last couple of weeks, I can actually see a case for Kyler Murray. And to be honest with you, if Kyler Murray were to win it this Saturday for some reason, it wouldn't sound so stupid, actually.
No, but while Kyler Murray has been the guy, and probably for me the most exciting guy because he is a runner and a passer, Tua, he plays 3 quarters for all but 2 games this season. So you look at his numbers and you go, man, I wonder what he could do if he played all 60 minutes of the football game,
Yeah. I mean, people say, people keep saying, where's Tua's moments? Like, well, he doesn't need any. He just dominates and leaves. I mean, why does it have to be? Why does it have to be dictated by moments? Why do we need all the drama to determine what's what? I mean, Tua has just done his job to a high level to such a point that he doesn't need a fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that alone should help him win the Heisman. But again, Kyler Murray is probably doing more because that defense is terrible. Oklahoma's defense is horrible.
Oh, absolutely.
So he has to put up 50 points a week just to win games.
Oh, I totally agree. You look at Alabama, their defense was able to shut out LSU, who beat Georgia. So you look at that and you go, he's just a contributor on a team, whereas Kyler Murray is carrying Oklahoma.
I'll be honest with you, Zach. Though. Jalen Hurts coming in that game in the second half when Tua got hurt against Georgia might actually hurt Tua's Heisman campaign a little bit.
He was looking terrible.
Yeah, but
he only had 3 completions in the first half.
But it's not even so much about him. It's about the fact that Hurts came in on spot duty and behind the game and still won the game.
Yeah, but some of that has to come down to your game plan.
Right.
Georgia was killing Alabama in the national title game with Jalen Hurts in, and then Tua comes in and saves it for him.
Right.
You spent a month preparing, or even a week preparing for a guy and the game film for the year is on one guy, it makes it a lot harder to change up your defense.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, I'm just happy we're getting Sooners and Tide, Alabama, Oklahoma in the playoff. I'm so happy we got that.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go to the game. It's down here. I want to go to the game really bad. I'm trying to go to the game.
Man, those tickets. I wish I had that kind of money.
Me too, man. Me too. Before we get to picks, you are the final four. You're okay with that? Any issue?
Yeah, I mean, there could be maybe a slight argument about just kicking Notre Dame out altogether.
Okay.
But then you look at who they beat, and when they beat Michigan week 1, they just controlled that game throughout and was crushing Michigan. Maybe not on the scoreboard, but they were crushing them.
Yeah.
On the field.
I agree.
So if you're going to say Ohio State has a huge victory against
Michigan, yeah.
Notre Dame, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when Notre Dame played Northwestern was getting beat down from start to finish. It was never close or in doubt.
Right. No, obviously the people saying that Georgia's still one of the 4 best teams in the country, and I agree. Like if you ask, what I'm saying is this. Though.
I totally disagree.
No, they shouldn't be in the playoff. I agree with what you're saying there. What I'm saying that if you ask me this, forget the playoff, all that. Who are the 4 best teams in the country? I would. My 4 teams will include Georgia. But unfortunately, they have 2 losses. They can't get in. I am okay with the 4. I'm more okay with the 4. This is the 4 I picked also, too.
They are not one of the 4 best teams, though. If you went to 6, I would say Ohio State would beat Georgia right now.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That is interesting. Okay. We got an argument. Okay. All right, let's get to the picks now, Salwe. Let's get to the picks. Okay, so of course, got a big week. No more bye weeks. Bye weeks are done for the year. We have 16 games down through and through. The playoff push has started 4 weeks ago in the year. Week 14. Here we go. Tomorrow night we have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Tennessee to face the Titans. The Titans are 4.5-point favorites. They pulled a miracle out of their ass against the Jets on Sunday. Zach, where are you going with this game?
I've got to take the Titans. 6 total points on offense by Jacksonville, and that's against a Colts defense. The Titans are way better on defense.
Yeah. I'm going to go the safe route here, take the under at 37.5. It's a trick, because I know they want you to take the over, but I don't mean so low. But I think with the Jaguars, having Cody Custer, he can't score. Tennessee is challenged also to score. Plus, Jacksonville's team is pretty good. So this game should not go no more than 17-13, to be honest with you.
Oh, I agree. I wanted to take the under, but I've gone twice on the under at 37 points and lost both times. I'm not doing it a third time.
And normally my safe route is to go, if it's 37 points, my mindset is like, well, no, take the over. Because it's a trick. I'm gonna switch it on Vegas this time. So I'm gonna take the under in this game. Okay, next game here. This is actually a very interesting game here. Baltimore heading to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 7.5-point favorites. No Kareem Hunt. Obviously, we see that last week. The Chiefs did struggle last week against the Raiders. They won the game, but they struggled against the Raiders. And I tell you what, Baltimore's playing very well. Lamar Jackson, no one's figured him out yet. I'm going to go and take the Ravens on the points here, plus 7.5.
I wish I had the guts you do. I'm going to take the safe bet this time and take the over.
53 points?
Yes, because I got to figure that Mahomes is still going to get 3 to 4 touchdown passes, like he does every game. And Baltimore should be able to score against that weak defense.
That's a good bet, actually. I like that. Okay. Moving on. Next game. We have the Indianapolis Colts. Disappointing loss last week to the Jaguars, you just said. Heading to Houston. Big game here against the Texans, who have won 9 straight games. The Texans are 4.5-point favorites. Zach, what do you like in this game?
I like Deshaun Watson.
It's a man.
But, no, I'm going to be a coward again and just take the over in the game.
At 49, huh?
Yeah, Houston's defense, for as loaded as they're supposed to be, tends to give up a lot of points.
Well,
and I would expect some kind of bounce back from Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm also going to give disagreement here to you and take the under at 49 points. For some reason, I see this being I see this being a more competitive, sort of defensive fight. Not defensive in the way it was like low scoring, but low scoring enough so it's under 49 points. So give me the under at 49. Okay, next game here we have the Carolina Panthers heading to Cleveland to face the Browns. The struggling Panthers lost 4 straight games, and now out of the playoff picture are now 1-point favorites against the Browns. Zach, what do you got?
I don't know if you've noticed, but I got a little bit of a trend going right now. I'm riding the over again, baby.
Wow, 47 points on the Browns and the Panthers. I'm going to take Carolina in this game. Desperate. I know they'll have Olsen either. They have to win this game. They're not this bad. They got to win the game.
Listen, I felt they were desperate and had to win last week, and they couldn't do it last week.
Well, Tampa's very talented. You know, you and I already spoke on this podcast before about Tampa being underachieving talent-wise.
Cleveland has talent at all levels on both sides of the field. All right, they got wide receivers, tight end, a running back, a decent quarterback. They got an amazing pass rusher, decent linebackers, and what looks like a Pro Bowl corner in the making.
And yet, we both took them +6 last week in Houston, and they got crushed.
Yeah. Well, that was Houston. That was Houston who had won 8 in a row. This is not Carolina who's lost 4 in a row.
Yeah. All right, next game here. We have the Falcons heading to Green Bay to face the Packers. The Packers are 6-point favorites this week. Your thoughts on the Mike McCarthy firing?
At least the crybaby got what he wants, so I figured there would be a bounce back this week and say, see, this is all we had to do. Get rid of the coach and we can start winning.
This is a game of 2 teams underachieving this year, of course.
Oh, yeah. And proving once again you were wrong about who the most talented quarterback is.
For 1 year? You know when I say
1
most talented...
year.
For 1 year. Okay, look, 1 year you get it right, okay? But this is not about a 1 year thing. This is a overall, 8-9 year sample. There's no argument here. You keep mixing. See, the problem with you, Zach, and people like you who think like you right now, is that you guys mix the argument. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time. That's a different argument. I'm saying he's the most talented quarterback of all time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, most talented? Okay, you want running, accuracy, a deep throwing arm? I'll give you Cunningham and Steve Young over Aaron Rodgers.
I'll get the hell out of here. Steve Young, I respect it. Steve Young I respect because Steve Young's my number 2 on that list anyway. But, no. The Cunningham thing? Get out of here, the Cunningham thing.
So Michael Vick wasn't as brittle as Aaron Rodgers is.
Okay, okay.
And know what? He is part of your talent.
Oh, boy. Anyway, I went ahead and took the over in this game at 48.5.
You're not even going to take your boy to win and cover.
I mean, dude, Joe Philbin's the coach. I don't know what to expect. So, 48.5 over. And this team's quit. They quit.
Yeah, I expect Aaron Rodgers to show up and cover a spread for one.
Okay. So, Green Bay to cover 6 points?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, moving on. This is actually a very sneaky good game here. The Saints heading to Tampa to face the Buccaneers. All of a sudden, the Bucs have playoff aspirations. They're not far behind. Only a game behind. So, the Saints are 8-point favorites. Zach, where you going on this one?
I'll take the Saints on a bounce back.
And covering 8
Not
points?
only is it... Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, but I cannot envision Jameis Winston going another game without turning the ball over. I don't think he has...
That's it. That's actually a good reason why you go that route. Unfortunately for you, I'm going the opposite way. I'm going to take the the Bucks on the points here. I think the Bucks are dangerous right now. I think you're getting a Saints team. Now, granted, they got a lot of rest now. But I think it's a Bucks team that if they don't do the thing you're saying they're going to do this week, this game should be closer than the line indicates. So give me the Bucks on the points here, +8 rather. Okay, the Jets heading to Buffalo face the Bills. The Bills currently are 3.5-point favorites. I'm really surprised this line is this low. Honestly, I'm thinking the Bills are covered. I think the Bills win this game going away.
Oh, I had to go the other way. I know the Jets just suffered a total collapse, but I expect them to show up and beat Buffalo. I think the Jets will win outright.
Jets win outright, really?
Yeah.
If Buffalo does not turn the ball over as much as they did last week against Miami, they win that game going away. They dominated the Dolphins in that game.
Man, they should have beat Miami. If Clay could have just run forward.
Yeah.
It was like he was trying to stay in the end zone for a touchdown, man. Hey, they don't need the touchdown yet. You got time on the clock.
All right. Next game here, speaking of Miami, we got the Patriots heading to Miami this week to face the Dolphins. The Pats right now are 8-point favorites. Zach, where do you go on this one?
Taking Tom Brady.
Wow. I'm going opposite with you, though.
No matter which way I go, I'm going to lose with this game.
Yeah. I'm going opposite. I'm taking the Dolphins in the points. You know the history of the Dolphins and the Patriots down here. Always a harder game than expected. I'm going to take Dolphins +8 here.
Yeah, for that history made me think about taking the under, but
47?
I can't win. No matter what, I can never win on a Miami game, so I might as well just take Tom Brady.
Did you take Miami on the game against the Colts? +9? You did take Miami on the game, didn't you?
Yeah, after you talk some sense in, Jimmy.
All right, moving forward, we have the Rams. This is the Sunday night game, actually. The Rams heading to Chicago to face the Bears, who just lost to my team this week. The Rams are 3-point favorites. Zach, are the Bears starting to teeter a little bit now, or do the Bears recover somehow and beat this 11-1 monster?
I just got a couple of things to say. I think, one, it proves how important Mitch Trubisky is to this Bears team.
Apparently.
All right.
Apparently.
It also tells you how corrupt the system is in the NFL that Chase Daniels can have a job. The Redskins can only have one quarterback on their roster, Mark Sanchez, and Kaepernick can't get a job.
Ooh, the Kaepernick thing again. By the way, your boys allegedly talked to him, were considering talking to him about getting a job.
Oh, that was straight bullshit.
I agree with you. I agree.
I don't even think they thought for 1 second about it.
And that's what I think. Why say it? Why even come out with that? I don't understand. What do you have to gain there by saying that shit?
Because they know what the questions will be at. And I love how they went from, we don't do the run-pass option, but you did with Alex Smith.
Yeah.
How much of your offense would you be changing if you went back to using the Alex Smith playbook?
I feel like the Redskins today, like all of a sudden now, like in fuck you mode with PR. Like the whole thing with the Reuben Foster signing, and now this one, the Kaepernick talking about Kaepernick in the press. Like really, like, the Skins are just like in fuck you mode right now.
And that comes from Bruce Allen being a dipshit.
Okay, I have the Rams covering this game -3.
So do I, because I don't know if Trubisky is playing or not.
And not only that, the Rams need this game. They need to keep the Saints at bay. So, give me the Rams here. All right. Speaking of the Skins, it's time. Our second game of the year. The Giants heading to your boys, to Washington, to face the Redskins. The Redskins, with now Mark Sanchez as a quarterback, are a 1.5-point favorite. I'm gonna continue pounding it.
That's an absolute joke.
I agree with you.
That is an absolute joke.
I agree with you. Oh, I just got a text. I just got a text on Trubisky. Matt Nagy just said that Trubisky, he feels good about him playing against the Rams. So the trend is going up for Trubisky playing on Sunday. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So
until it's confirmed, I will keep the Rams.
Yeah. Okay. Giants plus 1.5. That's an easy steal here.
Oh, it's easy money. You don't even take the points. You bet the money line.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm with you there, 100%. Okay, next one. The Broncos. The red-hot Broncos, should I say. Heading to San Francisco face the Niners. The Broncos are 6-point favorites. Zach, the Broncos are on a roll. Their schedule is really easy moving forward. Unless now they need Baltimore to slip a little bit. They need Indy to continue to slip a little bit. Denver, I tell you what, if they win 8 games, you can't fire fans. Even if they miss the playoffs, you cannot fire Vance Joseph. You can't.
Oh, absolutely not.
So,
I'd also like to point out that who has the better record right now? Kirk Cousins and his fully guaranteed contract, or Case Keenum?
I think right now the Vikings are maybe a tie better than the Broncos. You talking about like right this season, right? Yeah, I think
that screwed me. I thought Denver had just taken the lead in record.
No. Denver is 6-6 right now currently, but not far off. The Vikings rather are 6-5-1. So
I thought they were 5-6-1. Damn.
Yeah, by half game, really. I mean, come on now. By half
that
game,
hurt.
by
that
a tie.
hurt
No, but even then though, that's a lot though. Yeah, I agree. Give me Denver here, -6. Continue to dominate.
Absolutely. I almost believe San Fran wants to make sure they keep losing to get that for the number 1 pick now.
Absolutely. So give me Denver. All right. Next game here. Another team has quit. The Bengals. All granted, injuries too don't help. Bengals heading to the LA face the Chargers. The Chargers are 14-point favorites, so they lose Andy Dalton for the year. They lose AJ Green for the year. Injuries is just piling up here. This is an easy bet. Give me the Chargers here, -14. I imagine you have the same thing too.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's about here. All right, next one.
Cincinnati is literally the only team that might be more injury plagued than the Redskins.
I agree 100%. I agree.
It's 50-50 really there.
Yeah, it really is. All right, next one. You have the Detroit Lions heading to Arizona to face the Cardinals. The Lions currently are 2.5-point favorites. Zach, it's a shit game here. Where are you going this one?
I believe this is the game that decides whether or not Matt Patricia gets another year.
Really?
It might be his first year, but they were coming off back-to-back winning records in Detroit and still got rid of their head coach for this garbage of a coach.
Yeah, you and I last year were vehemently against that decision anyway, firing Jim Caldwell. So
if you lose to Arizona, I believe it'll be the second week in a row that a coach gets fired for losing to Arizona.
That's a good point. I'm taking the over in this game, 4.5.
I'm taking Denver.
No, you mean Detroit.
Dude better coach up to win. Yeah, I'm taking Detroit. Dude better win this game.
All right. Probably game of the week here, next to the Bears game, is the Eagles heading to Dallas to face the Cowboys. Huge game here for both teams, especially the Eagles. Right now, the Cowboys are 4-point favorites. Don't forget, a couple weeks ago, the Cowboys did beat the Eagles as well. So that started to turn around. I'll tell you what, though. I got a bad feeling for the Cowboys here. I know they're playing well. Give me Philly +4.
I'm right there with you. I feel like Carson Wentz has a little bit of a strut to him right now with winning.
I'm with you.
And I just don't want to see Dallas win.
I don't trust
I don't want to see Philly either, but
I don't trust them.
One of them's got to lose, so
I don't trust them. I mean,
Philly.
the Eagles have some life left in them. I mean, they're not a Super Bowl team, obviously, but can they win the East? Yeah, why not? You know? So we agree. You and I, +4, Philly. All right. The other game here, Pittsburgh heading to Oakland to face the Raiders. The Steelers are currently 11-point favorites. Zach, this is actually one of those games where, I don't know. You saw last week at Raiders, they were 15-point dogs against KC, and somehow they covered. Can you do it again this week?
You know, I don't believe they can. I feel like the Steelers have to come out and prove something after losing a game when they were up by 16.
Yeah. You think Pittsburgh, aren't you?
I'll give the Steelers a chance.
Okay.
I will trust that the Steelers can cover the spread.
11 points. A lot of points. I'm going to go ahead and take Oakland this time and take the Raiders for plus 11. I don't trust the Steelers. They'll win this game, but I don't trust them to cover shit. So, they're so undisciplined, it's not even funny. And finally, Monday Night Football. This is a big game here. Playoff implications, of course. The Vikings heading to Seattle in the 12th man to face the Seahawks. The Seahawks currently are 3.5-point favorites. Zachary, where are you going with this one?
I'm taking a cop-out. I'm going to take the under in the game.
Oh.
It's prime time.
45.
Seattle has a decent defense. It's going to be loud. I don't think Minnesota can put up many points.
I'm going to use your logic. It's Kirk Cousins. It's prime time. Give me Seattle minus 3.5.
Probably the safer choice.
And again, no buys this week. Of course, the buys are over. Before I go, quickly, last night, your Magic came to the Heat's house, beat the Heat again. What the fuck is it with the Heat playing Orlando? Orlando it's a weird matchup.
Yeah, it is. I mean, maybe it's the fact you guys are kind of undersized against the Magic. You don't have the length or the size.
It might be a playoff, dude. They might be.
I feel like Whiteside gets pushed around a little.
Hey, I think you're under 31.5. It's in jeopardy, dude. It's in jeopardy. They are. They're not a bad team, man.
If we get to play Miami once a week, it's definitely in danger.
Right now, they're the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference, dude. They're 12-12. They beat the Lakers last week. They should have beaten the Golden State also last week. I mean, they're not a bad team. I mean, they have a lot of talent there. I think it's coaching. It's probably coaching or chemistry. I don't know what it is, but they always have talent.
It's got to be chemistry because they've brought in quite a few coaches and nothing is working.
Well, I'll say this much: I'm not betting on them to make the playoffs just yet, but I think they're trending that way.
Here's my question, because I read that Whiteside walked off the court early.
Yeah, correct.
Is he puts the Heat now or what?
That contract's untradeable though till next year, at least till next year, because he's not expiring until next year. So, I mean, this is why I've been saying all year long. Ride the PR thing, ride the whole Dwayne Wade last dance thing. That covers everything, all the bullshit that's going on with the team. This Heat team is not interesting. This team should be at least a 7 seed, 8 seed in the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? They're underplaying. Of course. I mean, look, they're not a great team, but they're definitely they got a B roster. They do miss Dragic though.
Pointed that out.
They do miss Dragic though. Dragic's been out for a while, so they do miss him. I mean, they're horrible at home, dude. They are 5-9 at home this year.
Holy cow!
It's insane. And the worst part is loss. This is a 4-game homestand. They went 2-2. I was saying we could go. They had to go 3-1 and better. Now they're going on the road for 6. They go on the road for 6 games, the longest road trip of the year. Against teams like the Lakers and the Clippers and the Jazz and the Grizzlies. They cannot go worse than 3-3, dude, or they're in trouble.
Now, and the fact that it's all on the West Coast, that's so many miles to be putting on there with the jet lag.
Yep, they're in trouble. Like if they go 3-3, I'm happy. You know what I mean? But if they go worse 3-3, I think it's curtains for the season. I think it's curtains. You guys might have to pull off a miracle trade mid-season just so you can lure a good free agent in the off-season. Who wants those contracts, though? Who wants those contracts? No, dude. Did he have the worst contractual situation in the league right now currently? Until next year, they can't get Whiteside's contract will be a lot more attractive next year because it'll be an expiring deal. You know what I mean? Same thing with Tyler Johnson. Yeah. Same thing. You know what I mean? But disgusting, Zach. And here's the worst part, Zach. I can take losing once in a while, no big deal. I can't take uninteresting. They're not even interesting. Even in Dwayne Wade's last year. That's insane.
That's pretty bad that you're saying he's uninteresting.
The team is. It's damn sure. So, anyway, Zach, good luck to you this weekend. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. I'm just trying to be polite.
Yeah, I hope you lose every game.
It won't happen. I'll definitely win a Giant game. That's for damn sure.
That is true. You'll win every game that you followed my picks on.
Oh, really? I'm following your picks? Really? Okay, whatever. All right, buddy.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, later, man. My man, Big TJ, Tokeo Jamison. Was it last year or the year before that we spoke last on the podcast? Remember last summer, right?
I think it was 27. It was the summer 2017, man.
Right.
That was a real deep show for me, bro.
That was a very revealing show. That's for sure. The man, Tokeo Jamison,
Yeah,
podcaster, influencer, chill dude. What other adjectives can I add to your name right now?
I mean, I like to be a dad first,
Of course.
but I've never even thought about myself as an influencer, bro. Like, I see cats on Snapchat, like, that's in their description. What exactly is an influencer, bro? And then once you define it, how in the hell am I one?
I think an influencer, from what we all do here, like people who curate content on any level, whether it be podcasting or video or any writing, anything, anybody that does content, that creates content and puts out to the masses,
Okay.
is an influencer. That's what I've always interpreted as being. I know people have called me that to some degree. Certainly you're in that category. You've done podcasting and radio for quite a while now. I mean, you got one of the best radio voices I've ever heard, to be honest with you.
Well, first off, thank you for that. If I'm an influencer, I will gladly accept that I'm spreading my filth, okay? Because all I want people to do is just put peace and positivity out there, man. So if I'm an influencer, then definitely let me influence that, man. I'm with that.
Yeah.
And thanks for the compliment on the voice, bro. Like, it didn't hurt. Being a big dude, we got to work extra hard. But when you got a voice like this, it's easy to get the ladies.
No, ladies fall for that, bro. they that's definitely the case, man. That's definitely the case, man. No, but seriously, like we've known each other now for about, I would say about 6 years now, right? A little over 6 years now, since 2012.
Yeah.
You've gone through a lot of. I don't want to say metamorphosis. You've gone through a lot of changes through the 6 years. Last time we spoke on the show, you had, I won't say you stopped watching sports, but you definitely come back from like what you used to host sports centric shows for at least for a while, and then took a break for a long time, came back, and you told me on the show that you were just done with that kind of life, like I'm done with that, with that phase of your life, and you kind of want to branch out and do other stuff. But I actually love that you did that. Is that still the case now?
It is. You'll occasionally catch me, cause I cut the cord on cable, so we're on Hulu. We got Hulu Live, so you'll occasionally catch me, whenever Hulu throws a basketball game in my face, especially like if it's a West Coast game. If it's if it's a LA game, I want to see what LeBron's doing out there. If it's a Golden State game, I'm supportive of those guys. But football, I have not watched. College sports, I won't watch. That's just one of those. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in the world that you can choose to take a stand on. Sports is just one of those for me.
No, you said taking a stand. Is this? I don't use the word political, but is there a political backdrop behind this now? because I've had quite a few people come on this podcast in recent months, in recent weeks actually, admit to me that they stopped watching NFL or football in general for whatever reason. Does the football thing have more to do with the political stuff, or more to do with just you wanting just to get away from it in general?
Well, no, I mean, it woke up some stuff in me that's always, I mean, the stuff that I saw starting 2 years ago with everything that happened with Colin out in San Francisco,
right?
It just shined a light on stuff that was already the case. Like what I saw with everything that happened with Colin Kaepernick was a reminder of where black, in my opinion, now granted, everything that I say, understand is my opinion. If you don't agree with it, it's cool, but it's my opinion. So 2 years ago when I saw the outrage of Colin Kaepernick, even after he said it had absolutely nothing to do with the military and he's gone out of his way to do all this stuff, to see the hate that he still received and the players that support him being predominantly black in a predominantly black sport, still seeing the outrage. And what we're talking about is these aren't players taking a knee because they want more money, which we as Americans apparently are upset about as well, because anytime an athlete holds out for money, we get upset.
Of course, yeah.
But this isn't a player holding out for money. This is a player taking a knee because he wants to start the conversation to bring about equality with regards to police injustice. This is a group of people that are charged with the duty of protecting everybody. So when I see people upset with him and all he's trying to do is fight for people that look like me and the 3 children that I have been blessed to bring into this world, all he's doing is fighting for us.
Right.
And everyone is screaming, stand up. Even the people that aren't racist, they say they want him to stop taking a knee so that the media will stop talking about it. That is still turning a blind eye to the problem. Right. And I will not be a person to support the ignorance. I will not support. I will not co-sign the continued, I guess, just genocide of my people. I'll let your boy.
No, I'm with you. It's funny because I had a buddy of mine on this podcast exactly that came on about, I want to say 3 weeks ago maybe, and he's actually boycotting the NFL too for different reasons though. Now he's on the, I would say he's on, I guess you would say on the opposite side of the spectrum, more so, not even about the kneeling stuff, but more so about he was mad at the NFL because of the fact that, and I don't know if you remember this. Did you remember during the Super Bowl 2 years ago, or maybe last year, I think it was, when there was the NFL was saying that they weren't involved in this situation about, the kneeling and the anthem and all that, but there was a military commercial that they I guess banned from being played during the Super Bowl as an advertisement. They didn't allow the advertisement to play during the Super Bowl. And
I do remember
his thing was, well, I'm not necessarily against for the kneeling, whatever, but if you can't play both sides. You can't sit there and say, they're not gonna be fair about it. They'll won't play this, but won't play everything else. And I understood that from his point of view. And he said, and he's a diehard NFL fan, and he has not watched a game really since last year. He told me he'll gamble on games, but he'll never watch the product itself. But he'll watch college instead, just because college is not in that right now currently. But it's fascinating because you have both sides of the aisle or of the topic. Both sides are, and people forget this. Both sides are actually boycotting the NFL too. People assume people are assuming the ones that are pro standing or anti kneeling are the only ones boycotting the NFL. That's not the case. I mean, are pro Kaepernick, pro kneeling, and are also boycotting the NFL too.
Well, but that's just it though, bro. I mean, like I said, what that did was shined a light on everything else. Let's look at how critical people are at certain players that speak out versus others. We can see, a guy like Tom parade up and down the sideline, and the outrage on Monday isn't going to be as bad as if it were Cam. And you can say all day that it's because Tom's got rings, but that's a fucking lie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that is another thing for me that I cannot continue to co-sign. I can't continue to do a sports show. And let me tell you something. If I've never said this before,
okay,
doing BTW with L.A. Broadus and Joey Stats was
mm-hmm.
some of the most fun that I've ever had in my life. But knowing what I know now and feeling the way that I feel, being the man that I am now, I can't continue to have a sports show where I am a talking head giving dialogue and adding to the cannon fodder where I'm sitting there saying, you know, Cam is wrong for what he's doing. Even if I'm coming at it in the correct manner, it's only adding to the narrative that the black quarterback should be judged more harshly.
Right.
And I can't do that anymore.
Right. So, because I also thought at the time when we spoke, it wasn't just football, it was sports in general. I think you had gotten away from sports in general. Just because the whole mundaneness of it. I think I don't know, was just to change up the priorities, I guess. Was it for you?
At that point in time, I mean, you know, you had everything going on with Kaepernick. I was still actually doing the show
mm-hmm.
With the 3-point conversion and Mr. Controversy at the time.
Right.
And that was, you know, the Carolina Panthers run to the Super Bowl, and that was all good. And then 2017 happened. So when 2017 was like the worst year of my life. So you take me feeling the way that I feel about the country that I live in and how a great portion of the population, especially in the South where I live,
right,
how I feel like they look at me. That was a tough time. Plus all the mental health stuff that I was going through. I hadn't really realized how great a medicine cannabis was yet. So I wasn't really living that holistic lifestyle that I am now.
Right.
And I was bad off. So I had to completely remove myself from a lot of stuff. Like sports was a trigger for me. There are a lot of people in my life, friends, family, that they were triggers. And I had to remove all triggers from my life. And, you know, that's like I said, sports was just one of those.
Yeah, I remember that. You and one of the things on the last podcast we did, I should probably re-release that again in the next couple of weeks. Because it was very revealing. That show you did. You had actually admitted to a lot of the mental illness you'd suffered from for many years and whatnot. You were, even then, were still going through, and even after that, you were still going through. And you were pretty public about that, even after that podcast.
Well, and I am public about it because I know that what I went through in silence for a very long time. And there can be somebody listening to your show who's going through, or who knows somebody who's going through, or who may hear what I say, and they may be laughing at some of the shenanigans that I say, but actually think about some of the stuff I say. You know what? Big TJ went through it. And all he had to do was just go and talk to somebody. Maybe I can do that too. So that's why I'm public about it, because I feel like I'm on the other side. That I feel like I've made it through the first part of my jungle. I'm not done because I'm not a finished product, but I've made it through the first major part, and I'm still going. And if I can do it, then anybody else can, because I don't have any real advantages other than the fact that I'm quick with my wit. And, you know, I got a voice that can make any panties drop, but that right there is not enough.
That is the best, dude. That is the best. Oh, my God. Because I've noticed, too, also, because, you went away before that interview 2 years ago, last year, rather. You went away for a while. You actually, you got off the grid. You were not on social media. You were off. I mean, I guess that's a good thing in a lot of ways, because during the election, if there's any time you did not want to be part of social media, that's part of the time you probably want to be part of the social media during the election. And I mean, that was a fucking disaster in itself. So at least you picked the right time to do it. But, ever since that interview, because you had said that was the first time you ever publicly came and said that. I've noticed you've just been a lot more open about everything. Like you've, a bit more consistent, and then if you need to take a break, you take a break. Like from doing this. I mean,
Yes.
as much as you love, you and I both love podcasting, man. The medium as a whole, whether you're doing sports, whether you're doing, politics, anything you're passionate about, it's great that we have that medium. But I think what's different about you now is that you're taking a more, from what I can observe anyway from the outside, is that you're taking you're making more healthier decisions. Like if you need to take a break for a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month from doing shows because you feel like it's a little overwhelming and you just need to get a break, get away for a little while, you do it, and that's it. No questions asked.
Absolutely, because I'm looking out for number one.
Yeah, it's you and your family.
That's bro. Look, I got this year. Like I told you, 2017 was a really, really rough year, and it was. But in the last 2 years, I've lost a ridiculous amount of weight. Like I blew up, and finding out how I found out about Mr. Encarnacion, finding out how I did hurt me because I didn't know. But knowing some of the struggles that he had with weight, and seeing how big
you mean
I got.
LeSean Encarnacion, right? The guy that died a couple of years ago, right?
I found out like months. It had been months since it happened when I found out, and I was so devastated inside. I said, something's got to change. In the past 2 years, I've lost over 200 pounds. And
wow, really?
I just, yeah, it's work, it's work. But
that's incredible.
I can only, even with all that work, bro, in February of this year, on the night before Valentine's Day, I had a heart attack.
Really?
Like, yes, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't breathe. They kept me in ICU for a week. And I'm not public with my stuff because I'm not that guy who wants to get all this sympathy love online because a lot of it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
But having experienced that, and here's what I'm telling you, EJ, I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to be all mopey and shit, but here's real world stuff. I woke up 5 o'clock in the morning. I tell my wife, baby, I don't know what's wrong, but I'm having a really, really hard time breathing. She said, do you want me to call 911? Any other time that I needed to go to the hospital, I would never have her call 911 because I wouldn't want the ambulance to wake my children. But at that particular moment, I said, yep, you need to get them here because something's wrong. In my mind, EJ, I looked up to God because that is my faith, and I said, God, I really don't think I can fight anymore. I let out 2 tears, and I said, take me. Bro, I was ready to go.
Really?
Not because not because I wanted to die, not because I wanted to leave my family, but because the pain was so real, I didn't think I was going to make it, bro. I didn't think I had a chance. I thought it was a wrap. So when I wake up at the hospital and they tell me, look, it was just a mild situation. We can give you some medicine. You're good. Everything you're doing is fine. All your numbers are good. You're not reading diabetic anymore. Like I'm getting all this good news. They just said it was just a freak incident. I said from that day on, bro, I said every day of my life is going to be the best day of my life. Even when I have a shit day, that's the best day of my life because I'm alive. I was supposed to die that day. Anybody that don't like me can eat a dick because I'm alive. So when I'm online,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to say exactly how I feel about everything because that's what I want to do at that particular moment. I'm not doing it to be hurtful. All I want to do is spread positivity when I can. So if there's something going on that I don't like, I'm going to speak my mind on it because I could die tomorrow and God isn't going to give me a reason.
It's about gratitude also, too. I think you're grateful that you're able to tell a tale. You have a family to raise. You have 3 wonderful kids. You have a wife. A lot of things that you still a life ahead of you that you still have, things to accomplish. And,
Oh, yeah.
I think that it's just funny, like, even after everything I went through, the fact that you went through 2017, you still had one more, I'm not going to say hiccup, just another challenge, if you will, and to getting through that. That's living proof of you, who you are now versus who you were even a year and a half ago, the changes.
Hey, I thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
So I'm proud of you, man. And I wasn't even aware of. I'm sure you didn't. I don't think you went public with this. I don't think with the heart attack, but I know there were times I know there were times you stepped away for a little while in the last year. I just assumed that you trying to get get some fresh air. That's all. But I didn't realize it was something like that. But thank God you're still with us, obviously, and you're here to tell the tale, of course. So that's all good, man. That's all good.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely.
So, so you have you done a complete ban from the NFL, or you just you like see what you see on, because you and I got into a little bit of a conversation on Twitter yesterday about the Baker Mayfield Hugh Jackson bit, and I wanted to ask you, but I figured I'd wait until we got to the podcast because obviously you said that you no longer really watch the NFL anymore, but are you plugged in enough to know what's going on, at least in terms like even with some of the issues like these?
I made myself so just to give a little background.
Okay.
Whenever I saw your tweet,
yeah.
My tweet was just from a standpoint of Baker Mayfield should be able to say whatever he wants, because I would say the exact same thing if Baker Mayfield, if we were talking about Tyrod Taylor or Cam Newton saying something about a former coach and people giving him back hate for it, and if I said something about them, people would say I'm only saying it because they were a black quarterback. No, I'm saying Baker Mayfield should be able to say whatever the hell he wants. Whenever you said, when you came back, then I made myself a little bit more familiar on the situation. So I'm aware of it now.
Okay. No, it's cool. No, it's cool because there is something about Baker Mayfield that I like. Like, you and I are big on expression and being able to discuss and be open as much as possible. To me, there is some refreshing about Baker Mayfield saying what he said, even though I may not agree with the position to some degree. Like the only reason I even defended Hugh Jackson was this. He got fired from Cleveland. It wasn't like he left the Browns to go to a better job. Like the Browns told him, "You're not good enough, so therefore we don't need you anymore." And it wasn't like I get what Mayfield was trying to say, but I got a little upset because of the fact that he made it seem like Hugh Jackson actually left the team and went to a better situation, which by the way Cincinnati is not a better situation. I don't care what it says to me. One of the worst ownerships in history of sports. So, but I was only defending the fact that Hugh Jackson didn't get fired, and to me, once you get fired, you lose the right to dictate the narratives. That's all.
Well, here's the situation with Baker Mayfield. Like I say, Baker Mayfield deserves the right to say what he feels. In that particular situation, he wanted to set himself up to later be a hypocrite. That is perfectly fine. Because here's the situation. Hugh did get fired. And when he got fired, another company said, "Hey, bro, I want to sign you." And he went. Now, see, here's the thing. We look at these athletes like they're fucking superhuman. All we're talking about is jobs. Employment versus unemployment. Hugh Jackson was fired. So now he's unemployed. Someone else scooped him up. That's exactly what happened. But if Baker wants to be upset about it, he can. Here's the thing, though, Baker. In a few years, if you're worth your salt, you're going to want more money, and you may be willing to hold out for it. Now, you want to call out Hugh for getting fired and going to get another job. What are we going to say about you when you're still under contract and willing to hold out for more money? You're going to turn your back on your teammates to take care of number one, but you want to call out when it's convenient. This is something that we see every day. It's a lot of hypocrisy out there, bro.
Oh, no doubt about that. And I think also, too, with Baker Mayfield, too, especially, not to get into a sports debate here at all, but to me, it comes down to this, though. If Baker Mayfield in 3 years is a top-level quarterback, consider that at that point, then all this bravado with it will be something that people are going to embrace. But if Baker Mayfield falls off a cliff after this year, and 3 years from now is still doing the same talking reckless and stuff, that's where I think people are going to look at him and like, well, okay, you talk all this shit, but yet you don't produce really on the field. No, by the way, for the record, he is producing on the field right now. I think he's done a pretty good job this year as a rookie. So, but
bro, without having seen him play, I can tell you just based on the attitude, he's Jay Cutler 2.0. And as long as he's balling, which Jay Cutler did when he was in Denver, as long as he was balling, nobody had a problem with it. As soon as he started to suck, that was when people really started to get on Jay Cutler's case and run the meme with the little cigarette out of his mouth and stuff like that. Baker Mayfield can be Jay Cutler 2.0. If you're great, you're booming. But when you suck, you're going to be a meme, bro.
How much social media are you doing these days? Like, do you do like little social media? Do you take it day by day? What's your social media intake these days?
Facebook, very rare, honestly. I mean, if you look at my feed, I mean, I probably post maybe once or twice a week. Twitter is what gets a lot more of my attention, and I'll say I probably hit that maybe 3 or 4, but Snapchat is every day.
Really?
Yeah, man, I'm a snap fucking fool, man. I like people to see how I'm living. I say motivating stuff, man, because look, I'm a salesman by trade. So I'm out there, you know, going and trying to get the best out of people and trying to get that money. So I definitely get out there and, you know, I snap. And then obviously with me being Tokyo J, I like to, you know, share every 420 that I can.
I have to admit, though, because I did do Snapchat for a little while. I still have Snapchat, but honestly, I might check Snapchat maybe once a week now. And a lot of it is because of the fact that I think, and for the record, I'm also, like, I'm on Facebook every day, but I don't find it as endearing and fun as it used to be. Facebook to me today is just the same old bullshit. At some point, you get tired of hearing about the politics over and over again. Not that I disagree or agree, it's that if that's all you have to offer, like, then at some point, it's like, okay, enough already. Twitter, you know, what's so funny about social media though, even though Facebook is so personal that I feel like I have a lot more leash on Twitter than I do Facebook. Do you feel that way too?
140 characters, 140.
More than that.
Well, not now. I mean, you go in, but I mean, it's just, I can agree with your point. I mean, look, people get sappy on Twitter, but I don't know. Maybe with Twitter isn't for grandmas right now. With Facebook is for family.
Yeah.
So when you go on Facebook, yeah, there's some cutthroat people on Facebook, but the majority of the people that you have on your friend list are going to be supportive of you. When you got people on Twitter, if they follow you, they don't necessarily have to like you. They will flame your ass up. So you have to come correct on Twitter. Facebook is friendly. It's all, well, I mean, not friendly. It's actually really sappy and.
But yeah, I feel more comfortable on Twitter because saying what I want on Twitter, because Twitter to me, I feel like most people on there, I don't really know you personally, so I can say what I want and put it out there, and that's just fucking it. You know, whereas Facebook, I'm a lot more intensive what I say because I have family also on there that follows what I do. Whereas I don't have family on Twitter.
You still care what people think, don't you, bro?
Not like I used to. I've gotten less. I got less. I don't have time to care about bullshit. I used to be that way. I admit I used to be that way. Not anymore. No, I've got a lot more, like, you know, I say what I say, that's it. You don't like it too fucking bad.
That's exactly what it needs to be. Look, that's what I say for everybody. Be you. As long as you're not physically harming or mentally trying to, like, berate people, like, as long as you're in your bubble, be you. If you want to be a racist inside. You can hate my black ass all you want inside of your house. Mm-hmm. Just don't mess with me, you know? I mean, it's too easy.
Yeah. I tell folks all the time, it's not illegal to be racist, but you will get looked at differently by people you know if it's out in publicly. I mean, so they're putting themselves at risk at the end of the day, you know? Mm-hmm. So, this Trump shit, man. Where you at? Do you follow this? Dude, I can't believe we're already 2 years, almost 2 years into this Trump administration, and like it's like
that's what I'm talking about.
Elongated. So I feel like it's been 10 years. You know, do you follow this shit day to day?
We're a quarter of the way in. We're a quarter of the way in, man.
Well, you think he's gonna be reelected in 2020?
We are a country that hates change, so we will re-elect somebody that we know rather than elect somebody that we don't.
Because saying a quarter of the way in is basically saying that he's getting reelected.
I mean, if he runs, he'll win.
I feel the same way too. And when I say that, people
I mean, It sucks to say it, but it's the truth. If he runs, he will win. I said that, and I said the only way they're going to get him out of office is if he gets tired and quits.
Yeah.
But he's fucking Teflon. They haven't been able to bring him down yet. I mean, it's a Tony Soprano situation. So we're going to have to wait till some mysterious person. Oh, nope. I'm not even going to finish that because NSA is going to bang down the door. I apologize. Stop him. Stop him.
Well, not a Trump guy at all. You know that already. But I will say there are people, and what I said even a year or 2 years ago, is that one of the good things that came out of this Trump thing is that it definitely did shake up the apple cart. I think people who were pro-Obama or pro-progressive or people who just didn't care or didn't think they should care until necessary, are now more plugged in, a lot more politically astute, a lot more, I guess, at least they give a shit now. Whereas during the Obama years, those same people were probably a little more content and comfortable. And I think Donald Trump made people uncomfortable in a way where it forced people to get off their ass and be a little more aware of what's going on, climate change, all the things that should matter to them. So I look at it as a way that Donald Trump made people grow up, if you will. It's weird.
See, I don't give 45 credit for a lot. I really don't. But I will give him credit for bringing people to the conversation. Now, that is good and bad. It's
right.
Good because those people who said that proudly said that they didn't vote before came out and voted in these midterms, which was outstanding, and that's great. We still got, more people that need to vote, but whatever. But it also brings people to the conversation, and it's like, what media are they watching?
Yeah.
Because there's very dangerous media out there. So while 45 does something that calls you to action, and your action is going and watching media to get more information, if you're not careful as to what source you're getting it from, you are being weaponized one way or the other. Either for the left or for the right, you're being made into a weapon. So you need to be careful. You just gotta. So that's ultimately what I'm saying. That's what 45 has done. He's polarized the whole concept of politics even more than it was before. Like, cats are killing out there in these streets, man, because of whether you blue or red. Like, it's ridiculous.
Were you into politics before 2016?
I mean, yeah, especially 2008 is when I really got into it. I mean, but I've been a registered independent now for a while.
Okay.
I vote for the argument. Because look, growing up in the projects like I did, because I'm a no good hood. I love saying bullshit. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I love saying bullshit. But
I love it though. I love it.
But I was raised to be a Democrat because that's what it was. So it's like, okay, if you're black, you're a Democrat. But remember, the Republican Party was the party of Lincoln. So we're supposed to love Lincoln because of the whole Emancipation Proclamation bullshit. You have to look at the argument. You have to look, honestly, is what's best for you first, and then what's best for the greatest amount of people. I'm not going to do, to shoot myself in the face if it means that I can save my neighbor. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to shoot myself in the face to save my neighbor. But as long as I can save myself, then I want to try and save my neighbor, which is what they tell you to do on the airplane anyway. Save yourself, then your neighbor. I'm rambling now. But
no, keep going. I like this.
I don't know. I don't even know how else I can say it. I think that people are just getting so caught up in sticking with your team.
Oh, you
sticking with your team. I mean,
Tokyo, you are right in my wheelhouse, my friend. You are right in my wheelhouse right now.
We can look at it like we look at sports. We see the ignorance that people spew at one another. Neighbors will spew utter hate at one another because one is an Eagles fan and one is a Cowboys fan. They will say the most demeaning and hateful things to one another. People that you've never met before. You will say horrible things to in the name of a game. So now when we're talking about politics, this is people's lives, bro. This is Medicare and Medicaid. This is veteran benefits. This is our military. We're talking about life and death.
Yeah.
So these cats are defending the Democrats and defending Republicans like it's their team.
Yep.
And they're not listening to the argument. They'll vote a whole Republican or a whole Democratic ticket, not looking at who are you really voting for? Do we really have a pedophile on the ticket? You gonna vote for him just because of his? Nah, bro, can't do it.
Yeah, I'm with you there, brother. I'm with you, and I think that's the Roy Moore argument there. Of course, you have to go making there. Look, and people will look at your a lot of your commentary. They'll assume, oh, well, he's a Democrat. Man, no, that's exactly what people think about me, and I'm not. I'm an MPA. Truth be told, till 2007, I was a Republican actually, and then I left the party years ago, like 11 years ago, because they weren't serving my interests. They weren't serving the things I believed in. They went away from what I believed in politically. So I stopped being Republican, but that doesn't mean I go to Democrat. There's more than two choices here, to be honest. It may seem like it's two choices, in the mainstream, of course, but there's more than two choices, obviously. And I can't just go and just give my vote to people, because I have problems with Democrats too, just I have Republicans as well. Now I may have less issue with the Democrats to some degree, but that doesn't mean that they're perfect either. I hate this assumption that if you're not one, you're the other. People assume that. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Like you don't think I can think for myself? Like, seriously. I had a dude tell me. A couple weeks ago, like during the before the election, the midterms, telling me that, oh, vote red. Just vote red. Because I was making up an argument. I'm like, dude, no, I vote when I want to vote. You don't tell me, do what you want to do. I'll do what I want to do. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
I don't get it. But it like I said, it happens on both sides. We make excuses for who we want to make excuses for. I love my wife to death, and she'll probably slap me in the face when she listens to this and realizes that I dimed her out. But my wife will defend Beyonce no matter what. You don't like Beyonce? My wife loved Beyonce. My wife is a huge Beyonce fan, and when Beyonce came to North Carolina a year or so ago and performed in the rain, and it was that whole big thing, my wife was there and had a great time. My wife will defend Beyonce to the end. Beyonce could be caught red-handed in a crime, and my wife will defend it. We will defend who we want. So there are people who defend 45 with all the things that he said. They still defend it because of the party. Because they would. How is it, EJ, that we'll see cats defend 45 and then go after another celebrity for doing something less than what 45 did?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the problem too with politics today. It's almost like celebrity worship. Even Obama too. It's like celebrity worship. Like people forget, like, they work for you, not the way around. Like, I have family members who worship Obama, and I'm like, why? Like, Obama's a nice guy. Even wrong. I'm not saying not to like the guy or not to vote for the guy, but you treat him like you work for him when it's the other way around.
True. I mean, look. We elect the president, but the president is just looked at as, that's the power position. They say that's the greatest job in the world, the most powerful position in the world. But we elect them, so not we. Actually, we're talking about the electoral college, but we're not even gonna get into that whole.
That's
thing.
A whole other.
That's a whole nother barrel of monkeys, baby. That's a whole nother barrel of monkeys.
That's kind of
I'm
podcast.
Just now starting to feel good too, EJ, baby. I'm just now starting to feel good, so don't get me started on that one. But
that's not a podcast.
I'll calm myself down.
That's another podcast, my friend. That's for damn sure. It's another podcast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Electoral College with Tokeo and EJ. Let's go. Man, I mean, it's one of those things where you just, look, just be aware what's going on, and look, I'll be honest here. I'm not even defending Trump here, but at least for me, or I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little more within my own little scope and world. How much has our life really changed in 2 years? I mean, if you really think about it, has it been that bad in 2 years? Not saying that he's doing a good job or not. I don't think he's. To be honest, I think the chaos is annoying and shit. As shit. But I think we put so much stock into what the president does and can't do. I think he has, for somebody who had control of the House, the Senate, and the White House, he did very little. I mean, he didn't accomplish much in those first 2 years. So how much really do we actually? How much fear? I mean, fear factor, I guess, is the question.
I mean, you say how much has life really changed in the last 2 years? I'll say that things are different. Just the overall atmosphere has significantly gotten worse with regards to race relations in this country. I mean, and we joke all the time. Folks joke and say, "Oh, we're headed for another civil war," and they say it tongue in cheek, but we're seeing race wars forming. And I'm not saying that it is his fault, but his words, while he hasn't made a whole bunch of actions with regards to bills and laws and stuff like that being passed, his words, his Twitter account has been more powerful than his legislation. And the reason that I am concerned for this country is because I look at life honestly, EJ. I look at life like I look like at a movie. And if you honestly could watch me and my wife after we put the kids to sleep, not the sexual stuff because that's voyeurism, but if you could watch me and my wife like joking back and forth, we honestly are like a fucking sitcom. We're trying to make the other person laugh. So I look at life like a movie, and with 45 being in power, it's like one of those movies back in the 80s where that douchebag team was in charge until something happened, and then the douchebag team lost. Well, we're on the team with the douchebag team, so when he loses, we lose too. So we need to ride high while we can because I'm worried.
Yeah. But I will say, for someone who had the control of everything after 2016, he did not get a lot done as people thought. So I'll just leave it there. You and I, although I must say I'm failing at this miserably. You and I do have a kinship when it comes to TV and TV shows. Of course, last time on the podcast we discussed shows we were watching in the moment. It's been about a year and a half maybe. I've dropped, dude. I gotta be honest, I've dropped the ball on TV completely the last 6 months, and it's no one's fault but mine because I do have the time to watch it. I choose not to watch it. I don't know why. So a lot of the shows I want to catch up on or whatever, I just fail miserably in doing so. What are you watching these days, bro?
Since I obviously I'm not watching the game, I have time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've got my filler shows. I'm always watching The Office. I can watch that a million times over.
I still need to watch that, bro. I still need to watch that.
Bro, it's everyday life, man. And it's the absurdity of everyday life and realizing how weird people are. It's fun. It's fun. There's another one out. It's called Wrecked. Have you ever heard of that, bro?
I've heard of it. Is it on Netflix? Oh no,
it's on TV. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Because it's a TBS show. So if you've got cable and you can watch TBS on demand, then definitely check it out. But that one is it started off like a spoof to Lost because it's about a passengers on a plane that crashed. in a deserted island. So it started off like a spoof of Lost, but then it really took shape. And it's got some really awesome. It's a hilarious show, man. It is absolutely hilarious. But as far as current stuff, I'm still watching Empire. Ready for that to be over.
You still watching Empire, really? I stopped watching like about a year ago. Not because I didn't like it. It's because I haven't. I just kind of, let it build up a little bit, and then I never got back to it. But I will watch eventually. But I'm surprised that show's still on TV.
You see, the reason that it's on is because the players that they have. Taraji P. Henson is strong, and her portrayal of Cookie Lane is very strong. But they are running out of material. There's only so much stuff that you can do. I think more of anything, it's a music factory right now. People do like the tunes that they're pumping out. I still watch it because every once in a while they catch me. A year ago, the season finale, they did a song Lucius sang to Cookie called Dream On With You. If you've never heard it, go and listen. Dream On With You by Lucius. That song is so freaking beautiful, man. EJ, you listen to that song, and if it does not make you think about your old lady, tell me, and I'll apologize to everybody. But that song is beautiful, man.
It's funny because the music is what actually got me to this show in the first place. Like, the first two seasons, especially of the soundtracks that I have, it's actually really good. Like, it's not just like some like obviously it's obviously about the show, but it's really good shit. Like, it's real producers and and whatnot, and what they're and it's really good. I must admit.
Well, I know this isn't necessarily, we're not paying homage to Lee Daniels and the whole Empire team, but even if you're not necessarily caught up in the storyline, if you listen to the songs, they tell a story in the music. They're telling the story of what's going on in the show with the songs that they're telling. I mean, it's really interesting. And like I said, you have to be willing to look at it like you and I would, which is, we're not just looking at the surface stuff. I try to really appreciate stuff. Like I said, not just the main players. I'm looking also at the supporting people, to see how they boost up. So Gabourey Sidibe,
right.
in Empire, and also let me use this as a segue to throw love to American Horror Story, because this apocalypse was freaking gank, baby. I love this season.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lauren, my wife, loves that show. I told her I'd watch one of these seasons, but I just haven't come around to it yet. I'm slacking, dude. Like, bro, I was on fire for Ray Donovan. And then the last 2 years, not because it's not good, because it's still good, I just haven't been able to sit and fucking... Dude, you gotta tie me onto a fucking chair to watch this shit now, man.
Bro, I mean, you know what my recreation is.
Yeah.
So, with my recreation, it facilitates one to veg and watch. So, if I'm gonna tell you something, like I've given you shows, bro. I told you Boardwalk was the junk, and I'm still waiting on you to tell me that you finished that one, because we got to talk about it. I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
I have not finished it yet, and yeah, you can smack me when you see me. You can.
Look, I'm gonna have to rewatch it so that we can finally talk about it. But if you're gonna hear your boy out, American Horror Story is definitely worth the watch, and if you're gonna watch it, the thing that I like about it, just like I like Black Mirror, and again, as I talk more, I'm bringing in more shows, but
that's all right. I'm actually right now, as we speak, writing a list down. I'm writing a list as we speak.
Good stuff. So with American Horror Story, each season is its own independent story, so you can get into it anywhere. Yeah. But they actually did start to connect them loosely. So you got Murder House, which is the first season, and then you've got The Coven, which is, I think, the third season, and both of those culminate to make the apocalypse season. But the apocalypse season happened because the cult season happened before it. So it's really intertwined, just like Black Mirror, because each story on Black Mirror is its own story.
Right.
But they're all connected through technology. And this last season that they did, season 4, seeing that last episode, Black Museum, was so deep to see all these different tools, all these different, Easter eggs from all these episodes. And we thought that they were all independent thoughts. And now we find out that they actually were all existing in the same universe at the same time. It's crazy, mind blowing. And now I know that they got approved for a 5th season. So I'm fanboying out right now, dude.
I heard the one with Lady Gaga, Hotel, was really good.
Yes.
She's one.
Hotel was beast, bro. My wife.
You talk about a career that's really not as she's always been popular, but I never thought of her more than just maybe a one-hit wonder, maybe 2-hit wonder. But what she's done for a career, Lady Gaga, with TV and now the movies, and this respect I've gained for her in the last couple of years, by virtue of her appearance on certain shows and certain movies, has been really fascinating, really incredible, honestly.
She is a talent. And I didn't even jump on the bandwagon until late. But I'll tell you this, bro. If we weren't in the microwave era that we were in right now, if we were old school, if we were in this, I'm saying old school when I'm about to say it's hilarious. But if I were to say, if we were looking 60s, 70s, and 80s, if we put Lady Gaga in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, she would be perceived as one of the greatest talents ever. Yeah. They would look at her like they looked at Madonna for a very long time. And Madonna can't act worth shit.
I agree.
Lady Gaga.
Although I will say, Madonna's role in Evita was actually not too terrible, though.
The only thing I liked Madonna in was Dick Tracy. And that was because her name was Breathless.
You're the worst, dude. It's so bad. No, she is what it is with Madonna. I actually like her music a lot, though, but I'm not. Yeah, as an actress, I can take it, leave it, whatever. The Vita, I thought Vita was shocking, but beyond that, I've never really seen her as a top tier talent in that arena personally.
Wait. She was in a league of their own.
Yeah, but
that's all I'm going to say about that. I didn't say she did a good job in it. She was in it. There were a lot of other people that did a good job in that movie.
Not a lot of screen time to fuck that up.
Yeah, I mean, really, you can't drop the ball on that one. That's about what's that? Who could I say? No, that's about to be a horrible joke. Now I'm not even going to go down that road. But seriously, she couldn't drop the ball on that one. Gina Davis nailed that one. Now, A League of Their Own is one of my top 10 sports movies.
Well, it's funny. I think we'll do this next time on the podcast, because remember a couple years ago we were supposed to do this top 25 shows and then top 25 movies, but the idea was to not think about it, just jot it down.
Yep.
I think
the gauntlet was thrown.
I think I still have that list on my phone. I think. Because I changed phones, I think once or twice since then. Because we did that we did that in 2014, actually, you and I.
True.
And I think I listed the movies on social media, and then I told you I wanted to expand that to to TV shows and whatnot, and we never got to doing that actually though. But we need to do that in the future, top 25, or maybe do a bracket. Maybe do a bracket.
I would love.
You know what?
Let's just go. Let's do it in March, man. Let's make it happen.
In March, yeah. Do March Madness bracket for TV shows or movies, whatever, and we go from there.
Boom, gang.
That's a great idea, actually. Yeah. I had told our boy G.W. Gross about maybe doing a bracket for music, maybe at some point, But the TV shows and movies definitely is even more challenging. Well, you and I would do that.
Prince is going to make it to the Final Four no matter what.
Depending on the category. If you're doing,
you can't. We would see now. This is how I'm keeping the show going, bro. I'm taking it to all the stuff that I know you love,
No,
Look,
I love Prince. You know I love Prince. So I mean, we're not even gonna.
absolutely. That's what if you, as long as you don't have, Prince in the same. I mean, it depends, because I would want Prince to be a number one seed, bro. Like I would think Prince would be. So if you do a category, so you do category based on genre. So you have, shit, this is so hard.
Pop.
Rock, pop. I mean, I don't know, classic rock. I don't know, but Prince would be number one seed in his category. Like whatever category Prince is in, he's number one seed in it. And Queen's going to be the number one seed in one category. Like, I just see Queen as the number one seed. If Queen is not number one seed, depending on who you're going to say is better, then Queen's going to get a number two seed. Queen's going to be up there.
You a big Queen fan too?
I'm not just saying that because.
You a big Queen fan too? You a big Queen fan also?
I am, and the thing that's crazy is the fact that the movie came out, which I wanted to see opening weekend, but I'm probably going to end up seeing next week with Kyle. The thing that I didn't realize is how much music that they did that I know and love. I didn't realize that they were behind. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like that's how I knew. That's how I knew that I was a Queen fan. It's not the fact that Bohemian Rhapsody is on 3 or 4 of my playlists, and I find myself singing it in the car. And if I ever get the nerve, I'm gonna record myself singing it and put it on YouTube, bro. If I ever get the nerve, I'm crazy.
Maybe do a Snapchat with one of those dumb filters.
There you go. Hey, do you remember the one of me laughing, baby? That was the funniest time ever, man. I was gone, bro.
Bro, seriously, man. You know damn glasses filters, bro. Seriously. No,
I love it.
I'm a diehard Queen fan, number one. I'm diehard. Like, I love Freddie Mercury and Brian and Roger and John. Like, I mean, I saw the movie already. Other than the, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you, but other than the, there are inconsistencies in terms of the timelines and whatnot. Which I'll let you figure it out when you see it and you come back to me and tell me what you feel about it. But if you're a casual Queen fan, I think I said that 4 times this week on the podcast, but if you're a casual Queen fan, you'll love the movie. But if you're a diehard like me, you'll be a little more pickier.
Which is, I mean, that just like those people that say, how dare you like, Harry Potter and the movies when the books are so much better. You being a diehard Queen, that's it. You're a book reader. That's all. I got you.
You find Game of Thrones. You always find Game of Thrones fans who are readers a lot more critical of the show than the casual TV watcher.
Right, and I didn't realize it, but I'm really excited for 2019. I forgot that I was so excited for 2019. I haven't had HBO for a year, and I realized
you cut
why
it?
Because
you cut it.
I cut it until they did the final season of Silicon Valley, and then I got it for 30 days so I could binge it out, and then I cut it again.
This okay. Now I haven't watched. Again, I've been slacking, like I said. But did you watch Succession by any chance?
What was that again?
Did you watch Succession on HBO by any chance?
No.
I've heard great things about that show. It came out this summer.
Okay. I mean, we're bringing HBO back next year for the final season of Game of Thrones. So whatever is popping, I hope it builds a nice library. And then I'll just take a couple days and do a Tokyo J hiatus and just watch a whole bunch of shit.
Do you and the wife do it all the time, though? Do you guys make time to binge?
Yes, we make time for each other. That's one of the great things about having 3 kids and having them be the ages that they are. Having twins, that's a built-in best friend. So that's great. Our twins are perfect. But then, our oldest, being 9 and being the kid that he is, Kristen's awesome. So they play. They love. They're each other's.
What are the ages of the kids now?
9. My oldest is 9, and the twins are 6.
Oh, so they're a lot older now. Now they can just, distract themselves. I'm not
there
there
yet. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not there yet. I got a 5 and a 1-year-old.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. You got it rough. I feel for you, man.
Bro,
I feel
I'm
for you
losing my
because
hair, bro.
I remember. Bro, I just posted a video the other day of King when he was 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you're dealing with a 1.
And
bro, look. Whew.
It's so bad, dude. It's so bad because we were discussing the possibility of having a third kid about say about maybe 6 months ago, and I gotta tell you, my 1-year-old is so destructive that I am thankful for him because he reminds me why I do not want a third kid.
Do you mind if I do a real quick plug right quick, bro?
You do what the hell you gonna do, bro.
Hi. My name is Tokeo Jamison. I am 6'5" and a whole lot of black. And I'd love more than anything spreading my legacy all over these United States. I've got 3 of the most beautiful children you've ever seen. But one thing that I don't want is a 4th. Perspective. Go and get them.
Yeah, I'm done, dude. I mean, number one, I'll be 40 in less than 2 years. Okay, but even my wife wasn't one. I mean, that's the shocking part. My wife was like, "Yeah, I'm done too." Like, because we wanted a girl initially, also too, one girl. But you can't guarantee that, man. So
no, you can't because I was only wanting a second, and. EJ, but we had the one, and everything was cool. And I don't regret anything. My children can listen to this when they're older and they'll understand. We had the one, and you know how easy it is to find a babysitter for one kid. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now my wife says, "Baby, I would really like a girl," and I'm like, "Cool, let's have sex." So she says yes. So look.
Yes to sex?
Well,
that's her child.
Yes. I should really, that's my slogan when I run in 2024. But, no, so we're going for the gusto. You know, I'm trying to give her a girl. And then when we find out we're pregnant, we're like, yay. And I'm like, well, I hope it's a girl. And then we find out it's twins. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Life comes at you hard, baby.
Well, you know what though? You made it through. I guess the tough times. I mean, the rough times are always the youngest when they're youngest. I will say this much though. I know I'm taking my lumps now because having boys are a lot easier when they get older than having girls. Girls are a lot harder to maintain because you got to worry about everybody else and all the other bullshit comes with having a daughter. And I'm actually grateful that I'm going through it now. So when my boys are a little older, they can somewhat, distract themselves moving forward. I could be doing podcasts when the fuck I want because they don't want to be around daddy all the time. They want to be doing their own thing. Okay, bye. You know what I mean? So
I respect that.
Whereas the girl's going to be like, you have to worry about the girls every minute, who they're dating. Who? What? Who's that guy? What? That kind of thing. And yeah, I ain't trying to deal with that shit, bro. I'm already... And I tell my friends this all the time. I'm already protective of my boys as it is anyway. I cannot even imagine having a daughter. How much worse it'll be.
True. Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to know what my mind is like, bro. Like,
I'm scared.
So first off, I want to say, for all of your friends who have daughters, thanks for letting us know how you feel about having a daughter.
My best friend has 2 girls too. So. And he wanted that, okay.
But no, it's a scary place in my mind, man, because I've had the thought, like when I see what goes on, man, like when I saw the news about that kid at Stanford that assaulted that girl and only got sentenced to 6 months and only served 3 of them. Now we looking at it from the standpoint of this motherfucker, but that little girl's life is never going to be the same.
Yeah.
I feel for that child. I feel for that father because there's nothing that he could do to protect her.
Yeah.
And as a parent, all we want to do is protect our children. But as a father, we definitely want to protect our daughters, bro.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine.
EJ, I said on there, I will destroy somebody if they come across my daughter wrong. If you see me on the news having done something wrong, you already know they mess with my family. That's the only reason I'm going to lash out at anybody. I love everybody until you fuck with my family, and then you don't exist no more.
Right.
So if you ever see me on the news, you know already what happened.
I'm with you. I'm with 100%. Totally with you. I mean, God bless you, man. Going forward, man. I'm trying to scare you, man, but God bless you going forward. Before I let you go, I want to ask you about dinner time and all the podcasting you're doing. I know you guys are on a little bit of a hiatus. What's going on with that?
Oh well, no. Dinner time is back. We took a break because we were changing platforms. Had to get rid of Blog Talk.
Finally.
So yeah. So we're experimenting with other platforms, but we are still recording content. We had two great excerpts the other day, talking about one, my experience going to see Ralph Breaks the Internet at a sensory sensitive movie theater full of autistic children. We talked about that. And we also talked about my wife walking into the kitchen just 2 days ago while I was standing at the refrigerator, grabbing my junk and saying, "Welcome to New America. We grabbing now." So,
what? Wait.
Yeah, that happened.
Okay.
That happened. That happened. Hashtag me too, bro. Like, my wife walked into the kitchen, and when she did it, I was so startled. Like, it was a yell/yelp. It was almost a whimper, but yet a man yell for arousal. Like, I didn't know what emotion I was feeling, but it was great. And but yeah, she said it. We grab it now. So I tweeted that out. I think it might even still be pinned to my account, man. Like, that happened.
Hey, man. Sometimes random is good. I mean, I'll be honest with you. That my wife, there are moments where that shit, like shenanigans like that, does happen. Like, she just grabbed my butt one day, like, you can do that without a problem, and shit like that.
Yes, you can. I told my wife she can defile me in public if she wants to. When we got married, we were basically saying that we own each other. So she can do whatever she wants to me. Look, my wife is my best friend, so we can get nasty together.
Yeah. No, and that's always, I mean, with all the challenges you have through your life, I mean, having her, I'm sure, has a rock. It's probably been the best support you ever had. And being able to get through this shit.
Man, I'm not even going to start to talk about how awesome she's been, because then you'll hear me crying on your show. And this show you will be able to present this you will be able to take this to festivals, bro.
Yeah.
Because it would be a case study for bipolarism. I will have been laughing, yelling, hysterical, angry, and then crying all in one show. So I am not going to talk about how awesome. Seriously, I'm not going to talk about how awesome Lady J is, but I would not be the person that I am today with not her. And I will say 75% of the stuff that comes out of my mouth that everybody loves, that everybody laughs at, 75% of what I say, I heard from her.
That's incredible. We need to hear more.
That's real world.
And I think on a personal level too, we need to hear more about these kind of things. You know, couples. You know, because I mean, you see the divorce rate, how it is in America. It's over 50%. Seeing the success stories of and not just like, oh, well, it's married and this and that. You guys had real challenges and you guys still got through that and are still here to tell the tale. You know, so it's good to hear more success stories of that, and a black couple of that too, especially. I'm not talking about race, but it's good to see that, man. It's good to see and hear that. You know what I mean?
Bro, the thing about it is, I mean, we've been together now. We've been together 10 years. We've been, married for going on 9 of them, and she's got 50 million reasons to leave. but she doesn't. And that's love, man. It's easy to walk out. It is easy sometimes to walk out, but that love, if you find somebody that you fight with, and I'm not talking physical violence, I'm talking you just sometimes y'all just don't see eye to eye, but you want nothing more than to do everything in your power to make that person smile immediately after they just said something that just completely slapped you the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's love, man. That's seeing somebody and maybe they don't look at you the same for a couple of weeks because you hadn't been washing your ass the right way. So maybe they don't necessarily like you like that for a little while. But y'all stay together, y'all fight it out because that's love, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Anyway, man, before I let you go, plug everything you want to plug in for now, and
No, hey, look. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Snapchat, the handle is the same as Tokeo J. That's TOKEOJ. People don't understand where Tokeo Jamison came from. Tokyo J. Get it?
yes, man, I totally get it.
I'm
TJ,
saying, right?
hey, we're gonna do that podcast soon. The March Madness. We'll get it set up for, next couple of weeks, hopefully, and start getting out the rules and stuff for March Madness.
Sweet.
All right, man.
Sweet.
Let's
Thanks
go.
for having me, brother. God bless.
Of course.